going on, everyone? This is your astrology horoscope for July 3rd, 2023. I'm astrologer Alex Skiles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Thank you all so much for being here. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Hope you all had a great weekend. It's Monday. It's a full moon in Capricorn. And it's a super moon, they're calling it. So whatever the hell that means, or whatever they want to call it, like this is when the moon is at its closest point to the earth. So our emotions are definitely at a high point. And this is a big closing of a very long 15 years with Pluto and Capricorn. This is the last time we're going to have a full moon in Capricorn with Pluto and Capricorn. And yeah, this is it. This is closing out that cycle for good. And, you know, a lot of the structures that we've seen kind of be destroyed are now beginning to, its path towards being rebuilt. And not just the larger Capricorn systems in the world, but also our inner world. So, I feel like this full moon is really highlighting our ambitions here, and how our legacy in the world and how we're perceived in the world. Capricorn, it wants to win. It wants to win the race. It wants the trophy. It wants to be recognized. And, when the full moon's in Capricorn, especially with Mercury here, it's like, this is where the mental and our emotions, really meet. And we're really thinking about, what we want to achieve with this Capricorn moon. And with Pluto here, it's like, what have we achieved? What is the foundation and the structure that we have laid out for our future, for the legacy that we're going to leave behind? Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, so it's the long-term things that we're concreting into the world. Saturn tends to concrete things into eternity. And it's serious. It's very serious matters of, like, we're not messing around. So, Capricorn moon doesn't mess around. But also it's kind of like this full moon is reflecting a lot of feelings that maybe it's like, like, I'm working too hard. Like, I need to kind of take a break, put the brakes on a little bit and just kind of be with the ones that I love, and focus on, nurturing, your body and your family, and being more with what makes you feel secure, because when we can nurture ourselves and nurture our environment and the ones that we love, it makes it much more possible to chase our ambitions and chase our legacy and career and all the larger things in the world that we want to achieve. Capricorn wants to get to the top of the mountain, but you can't get to the top of the mountain if there's not a solid foundation that's been nurtured and watered and is able to protect itself, So this is really bringing up a lot of unconscious stuff too with this last time we're going to see Pluto in Capricorn with the full moon. I mean, this is, Capricorn rules our family structure and Pluto rules our genetic code. So these are things passed down from generations to generations that this full moon can bring up, and how we perceive, how we go about creating our foundation in the world, and how hard we work. I definitely think, I don't think, it's very clear that, especially over the past 15 years with how technology's changed and all this stuff, of what discipline really means in the world. The lack of discipline, maybe where we don't feel as disciplined, where we want to be more disciplined, Like, we're having feelings towards these things, and they're really coming up now. So we have a lot of support from Jupiter as well, with this moon trining Jupiter. So there is a sense of optimism of knowing where we're going and what we're building and what we're manifesting materially, but we know that doesn't come without real, tangible, hard work. And that's what Capricorn does. It works hard for what it wants to achieve. And Taurus, with this Jupiter and Taurus, manifests the things we want, we need, and the resources we need on a material level. We just can't forget what has to be nurtured and what we need to take care of, whether it's ourselves or our family or, simply just taking a walk and just not even thinking about the more complex things in the world, And maybe this might even be highlighting with this Capricorn full moon too, that like there's so much intensity going on in the world and so much larger outer things shifting and changing that we can't control. Capricorn rules control. This is really bringing up what we can't control, and it's like, what can we focus on in our own structure, and not getting too caught up in the outer world, because when we do that, we can't nurture what really matters, which is nurturing our bodies, nurturing our families. So yeah, this is a very complex full moon emotionally, because when the moon's in Capricorn, it's in its detriment, right? Meaning that it's not its happiest place. So the moon in Capricorn opposing the sun in Cancer, it's like the moon wants to be in Cancer. Cancer rules the moon. Or Cancer is ruled by the moon. So this is giving us the ability to detach from, the things we can't control. The ability to detach from, maybe taking a break from overdoing it. Capricorn can tend to just overdo things and not even look over either shoulder and just keep going. It's like if you've ever climbed a mountain, like, once you get to a certain point on your way to the top, like there's no going back. There's no turning around. Like you've come so far that what's the point of turning around? That would be a huge letdown, so to say. And once you get to the top, it's like you got an eagle eye view of the entire landscape. But that's as far as you can go. And the only way to go back is down, And to get to the top, that takes time. Capricorn being ruled by Saturn, that rules time. That rules our physical reality. And we can't escape time. And by the time we get to next year, when we have a full moon in Capricorn in July, Pluto's going to be in Aquarius. And how I really feel about Aquarius, because since Uranus has been discovered in the 1800s, Uranus has been applied as the ruling planet of the sign of Aquarius. But before Uranus was discovered, for 10,000 years, Aquarius was co-ruled by Saturn, with Capricorn. And kind of what I always say is that Capricorn makes the rules and Aquarius breaks the rules, right? Capricorn sets the boundaries of our reality and sets the boundaries of time. And Aquarius bends time. It creates its own system. And that's what's happening. And with this full moon, and the last time we're going to see Pluto in Capricorn with a full moon in Capricorn, it's like, we know that everything is completely shifted and our emotional landscape has completely shifted. and how the outer world and the larger structures in the world has affected us in a way where it's like we have to adapt in new ways. And what we're going to see with Pluto and Aquarius is groups setting out and exiting this so-called matrix in a way to really do its own thing. Aquarius wants to do its own thing. So this is kind of the end of this Capricorn system, so to say. Like, we're seeing the final swing of the dissolution of that system. And we still got a ways to go, but this is really triggering that. And there may be things going on in your life that are related to your structure or your family structure that are completely shifting. And definitely in the world, we're also seeing massive shifts that, like, we're never going back. We're never going back to the way things were. And the only way to go is to move forward and to really not get caught up in too much of the darker things that Pluto tends to bring up, because this full moon is really giving us the option to decide what path it wants to go on, because there's so much cardinal energy. Capricorn and Cancer, they're cardinal signs, and cardinal signs know what direction it wants to go in. And we know that our desires and our ambitions want to go towards a higher destiny that Capricorn lays out for us. But we know now, in order to get there, like, we have to nurture ourselves, and we have to nurture our immediate surroundings and where we feel secure. So, and still, I mean, there's a lot of fun energy too going on still with this Venus and Mars and Leo as well. Like, there's still, this very playful kind of activities that we're doing, and Venus is not retrograde yet, so it's off its square to Uranus, 1 degree, but that is going to happen 2 more times here over the next couple months. So, on top of this illumination of the intensity and the depth of how the structures of our lives have shifted, there's still this playful energy going on with Venus and Mars, and this sort of optimism with Jupiter trining the moon, that it's like it knows the path it needs to take to really draw in this material abundance with Jupiter and Taurus that we're going to really experience when Jupiter gets to Uranus next April. And Pluto will be in Aquarius by that time too, and Pluto is the ruling planet, or Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. So that's going to be a really, really interesting time that, like, I feel like this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction with Pluto and Aquarius, it's going to bring a lot of shocking things, good and bad, light and dark, but ultimately it's going to, I think, provide the ones who are really doing the work and the ones who are really speaking their truth and standing in their truth and shedding light on the dark. It's going to really bring in an abundant wave to provide those material resources it needs to break free in the way that it desires. Because when Pluto's in Aquarius, it has this desire to break free from the matrix, so to say. And with this Pluto in Capricorn, we're seeing a complete deconstruction of that matrix. Because the last time Pluto was in this degree of Capricorn was when America was founded in 1776. That's the last time we've been here. And the 4th of July is coming up. Everybody's celebrating. Saw some nice fireworks on Saturday. It's pretty awesome. So, I mean, I think it's ironic that here we are with the last final swing with Pluto in Capricorn, and there is this confidence of like, like this is where we exist, and this is the structure we exist in, and that what is coming is completely shifting and changing, and it already has. And we've really felt that in the past 15 years with Pluto and Capricorn. So, yeah. With this full moon, it's like, as much as we want to focus on our ambitions and focus on what we want to achieve in the world, like there's time. We have time to get there. And if we feel like we're overdoing it, this is a wonderful time to just sit back and smell the roses and just feel comfortable where you're at. We with this full moon, it's like it can get really exhausting in a way of, like working too hard, But also on the other end of things, it's like, okay, I know what I want, but sometimes I got to hit the brakes. Sometimes I need to just step back and not worry about, getting the trophy or getting to the mountain, getting to the top of the mountain first. Capricorn it wants to win, it wants to achieve. So this is really helping us kind of know where to, let off the gas a little bit and not overwork ourselves. So yeah, I think this is a really great full moon here. Neptune has not moved 1 minute at all. We're still at 41 minutes here. So Neptune is still completely stopped. It's pretty wild because with this Uranus and Taurus, it brings very sudden things. I mean, Uranus rules like earthquakes and things like that. It rules winning the lottery and gambling and just sudden windfalls, but just anything shocking and sudden, that's Uranus. And the other night or last night, I'm in the middle of a dream. I have Uranus in the 12th house. So it's like I'm having a dream, and in my dream, I'm in this hotel, and it's like a big party in this hotel. And all of a sudden, there's an earthquake in my dream. Like, it's like, holy shit, there's a fucking earthquake going on. And I wake up the next morning and somebody posted on the internet. It's like, oh, there was an earthquake last night right off the coast. So this energy is very strong. Like, there's sudden, shocking things that can really come in, in a positive way too, with this moon trining Jupiter. Like, there could be sudden things that really just come in, or sudden insights and revelations that just seem to like shoot in. I'm like, okay, I know exactly the path I need to go to achieve my goals and to leave a legacy in the world. Capricorn wants to leave a legacy in the world, and it wants to be known for that, whether it's just in your immediate environment, in your family, or real success being known across the globe. That's Capricorn. That's the 10th house. So if you know anybody with 10th house placements or a lot of Capricorn stuff, it's like they're here to achieve. They're here to achieve goals and really affect the matrix structure of how it all functions, of how these structures functions. Our world is a pyramid. Our society is a pyramid. It's like, there's very few at the top and a lot at the bottom. And in order to get to these next levels, you have to work and you have to achieve and you have to evolve and you have to stay on that path, and you can't go off that path and you can't waste your time by looking back, But with this full moon, it's like, we can hit the brakes a little bit and give ourselves a break. Because by the time Pluto comes direct, that's when we're going to be kicking it back into gear of like, we're almost at the top of the mountain. You know, Capricorn is at, Pluto's at the very, 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 very last degree of Capricorn. So it's like, this is when we get to the top of the mountain, essentially. And also on the larger scale of things, it's like, this is when the fact that this is like the last swing we're going to see here, we will see late next summer, Pluto retrograde back to 29 degrees of Capricorn. But yeah, like this is where we get to the top of the mountain, and this is the final moment here. Like, we're seeing a lot of power grabs, you know, with Pluto. Like it rules power, so we're seeing a lot of that action going on. So it's okay to hit the brakes, you know, take care of yourself, nurture yourself, especially with all this wonderful Cancer energy. You know, pause if you need to, you know, because by the time Pluto comes direct, it's going to be time to kick it back into gear. So yeah, super, super full moon, super intense full moon. They're calling it like the buck moon, whatever the hell that means. If you know what that means, let me know, because I have no idea. Let's see what we got in the cards here. Yeah, what a evolutionary journey Pluto and Capricorn has been. This is it. So, exciting times. Very exciting times. And I feel like too, this full moon is like, it intuitively, it knows that the next road is being paved and that the next wave is coming. There's something about it. It's like, we know big shifts and big things are happening, and big this is a big moment. This is a real big moment here. So we got the Hangman upright. I mean, there is a sacrifice we have to make. And in order to get to the top and the mountain that Capricorn wants to climb, like we have to be willing to make a sacrifice. And with this full moon, the sacrifice that is coming up here is, you know, we don't want to sacrifice our sanity, you know, with overdoing things. You know, Capricorn wants to overdo. And yeah, I mean, just take a pause if you need to. You know, you don't want to sacrifice your entire soul just to get to the top, because at this moment, like, destiny is gonna unfold here over the next coming months before Pluto goes retrograde. And what I mean by destiny playing out, Capricorn rules our higher destiny, you know. And when you're on that path of achieving your higher destiny, that foundation is built on sacrifice. You know, whether it's sacrificing for your family or sacrificing for your country, i.e. 4th of July. You know, we all have to make big sacrifices in life in order to achieve and create the world we want to live in, right? So, happy full supermoon in Capricorn. The last time Pluto's going to be here. This is like a sweet goodbye, or a bittersweet goodbye. But in a good way, you know, because once Pluto comes to Aquarius, it's like, it's going to be very liberating in a sense. It's like, because we felt it back in March when Pluto hit that 0 degree mark of Aquarius. Like, we felt that opportunity, and that it was like a little portal opened up, and it was like, hey, this is the glimpse to the future. And what that's looking like is that we're evolving past these controlling, like, unconscious generational issues that Pluto and Capricorn brings up and wants to break down and reconstruct. So by the time it breaks those things down, and we get to Pluto and Aquarius, like we're reconstructing it in a way where it's like we can all kind of branch off and do our own thing. That's what we're going to see with Pluto and Aquarius, is people breaking free from the matrix system and starting their own communities and starting their own things. But we're also going to see people completely succumbing to that matrix, and that's, you know, what it's going to be. So whatever your destiny is going to play out to be in the future, there's got to be big sacrifice to get to that place of that higher destiny. So have a good Monday, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.